My name is Arlie Atkinson, and I'm a proud member of Kickstarter United. We are a wall-to-wall union of the workers who build, maintain, and steward the popular crowdfunding website, Kickstarter. Last year, we bargained for over 6 months and struck for over 6 weeks to win our 4-day work week, a fair minimum wage, and more. But just weeks after this historic contract was ratified, 4 striking workers lost their jobs. These layoffs were retaliatory and sent a clear, chilling, union-busting message to the rest of us. We gather here today to stand in solidarity with the targets of these layoffs. We unite against illegal union busting that affects workers across the country. I'm so excited to welcome an excellent lineup of speakers, including our keynote speaker, the Borough President, Antonio Reynoso. Councilmember Lincoln Ressler. And union members from Kickstarter United, my own union, Alphabet Workers, New York Times Tech Guild, and more. So without further ado, we'll have our first speaker, my colleague Nicole Amato from Kickstarter United, share their story. So, Nicole.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Nicole Amato, and for 3.5 years, I was the Games Outreach Lead at Kickstarter. The Games category has the most creators on all of Kickstarter, and I was the point person for many of them. Very often, I was the person on the outreach team working with more creators than anyone else. I've been in the games industry for 17 years, and I've been involved in and done contracting for countless Kickstarter campaigns. So it made sense to apply for the job when it opened back in 2022. Externally, I was thrilled to be doing what I loved, guiding creators to find success in a world that is increasingly caving to the monoculture. Internally, it was one of the most chaotic experiences of my life. When my third manager, Asher McClenahan, started February of last year, I was on the tail end of being pressured and harassed by Nick Yeoman, the Director of Outreach, and Everett Taylor, the CEO, to do the work of the manager position without any of the compensation. That went on for a total of 7 months and interfered with my own work. In spite of the constant chaos, 3 managers, 3 CRMs, and over 60 people being either fired or laid off in swaths at a company of just over 100 people, I was excellent at my job. My performance reviews were exemplary, and the positive feedback I received was often uncomfortable as a person who isn't great at accepting compliments. My first manager even found data that showed the average success rate of creators who worked with outreach members and my personal average success rate, which was much, much higher. I loved the work so much. Things with Asher started out well, but a few months in, the first time I disagreed with him in a meeting, he pulled me aside and told me that I was bad at my job and that I seemed miserable and should consider leaving. The reason he told me I was bad at my job was because I was supporting the creators and their needs. The reason I seemed miserable was because I found this particular practice he was defending to be deeply unethical. Again, all of my performance reviews up to that point were excellent, yet because I disagreed with him politely, as I have always had to be with white men in power, I was told that I was a bad employee. Over that weekend, as I sat and thought about how to handle this situation, I came to the conclusion that instead of leaving this work I loved so much, I would prefer if we found a better way to move forward. I told him that when he returned from an event he went to that weekend. Weeks later, I found out at that very event he attended, he told one of my friends that she should come work for him. So while I was home trying to come up with a way to make this work out, my manager was at an event trying to replace me. Our CEO, Everett Taylor, was also at this event. Everett told someone in my industry that I only go to events to drink with my friends. Never mind that I'm a recovering alcoholic of 16 years. We wouldn't want facts to get in the way of all these narratives, would we? Have I mentioned the consistency of my performance reviews? Well, I'd like to talk about something else that's been as consistent as my performance reviews, and that's the Kickstarter United Union. When I was being surveilled and harassed by Nick Yeoman and Everett Taylor, and I brought screenshots of written proof to HR and they denied it, the union helped me. One of several times HR tried to gaslight me, but the union believed me. When I didn't have a manager and Nick Yeoman was supposed to be doing the work, and he instead threatened me by saying if I didn't do said work, I wouldn't be considered for a promotion, the union was there to support me. Before we all went on strike in October of 2025 to fight for better pay and to protect our well-earned 4-day work week, among so much else, and Asher told me that the union was being children and we were all just spoiled and overpaid tech workers, the union was there. not to mention the strike. I have never in my life felt more united in solidarity than during those 42 amazing days. We kept each other sane, held each other accountable, and had each other's backs. I was part of our contract action team, and I also worked with my creators to help put pressure on management, a pressure they could never, ever let go unpunished. I attended almost every bargaining session and saw the callousness with which Littler Mendelsohn, the company's union-busting law firm, can we get a boo for Littler Mendelsohn?
Let's go union! 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 Let's go.
They spoke of us as though we weren't human beings, and I watched my fellow union members fight back with compassion, articulation, and love. I will be forever changed by that experience. And we won. And as I mentioned, that win could not go unpunished. Things were starting to feel like they had gone back to normal. I was totally blindsided when, on February 11th, I was one of 4 striking union members who were laid off. In that initial meeting, I was told it wasn't about my performance, remember those performance reviews, but it was about restructuring, a reorganization that was orchestrated by 4 people, including Nick Ullman and Asher McClenahan. I was the only outreach team member who wasn't given a new position in the organization, despite the fact that the new job they posted just 2 weeks later was copied and pasted from my job description with very few changes. Though exhausted, the union immediately put their gloves back on and got right back into the fight against these sham layoffs, going head-to-head once again with the ghouls at Littler Mendelsohn. I'm not really sure how to end this other than to say, here I stand before you, a better person for being a part of this union. I'm so grateful that you're all fighting against this blatant retaliation. Thank you all so much for listening to my story, and let me know if you want to see those performance reviews.
Kickstarters united! We'll never be defeated! Kickstarters united!
We'll never be defeated!
Kickstarters united!
We'll never be defeated!
Kickstarters united!
We'll never be defeated!
Come alive!
What happened to Nicole ain't right, and that's why we're here fighting the layoffs that affected them and other members of our union. So I'd like to invite another colleague from Kickstarter United, Jeremy.
Right here.
To lead us through a few chants and to say a few words.
Thank you, Harley. Let's start with a chant. What's disgusting?
Union busting!
What's disgusting?
Union busting!
I can't hear you. What's disgusting?
Union busting!
All right. My name is Jeremy. I am a software engineer at Kickstarter and a proud union organizer. We are here because our employer, Kickstarter, laid off our coworkers in retaliation for being union organizers. Let's get a boo for that. After a historic 42-day strike last fall, in which we won a 4-day work week, a minimum salary, and protections against AI. Yeah, let's get a cheer for that. And after we won all that, which was a strike run by the country's first major tech union, Kickstarter. Kickstarter management decided to lay off our fellow union organizers who helped lead that effort. Yeah, let's get a boo for that. These coworkers were not just union organizers. They were people who were excellent at their jobs.
That's right.
Gave many years of their career to Kickstarter, people who we look to for mentorship, who are leaders in Kickstarter's creator community. I'm looking at you, Nicole. We demand that Kickstarter end its retaliation, take accountability, and reinstate our coworkers. Oh, and drop the union-busting law firm Littler Mendelsohn once and for all. And I'll just end with one more nice little chant. When I say union, you say power. Union! Power! Union! Power! Union! Power!
Union busting!
Union busting! Union busting! Union busting!
Union power!
right, it is my great honor to introduce our keynote speaker, Brooklyn Borough President Antonio Reynoso.
All right. Welcome to Brooklyn. We are here today because we should be in celebration. Kickstarter was founded here in Greenpoint in the great borough of Brooklyn, which also happens to be the home of the first union in tech in all over this country. They also were able to negotiate things that everyone is worried about right now. First, a reduction in the work week that is historical, that we should be celebrating, that hasn't happened since the era of Ford. That happened here in Brooklyn with the people standing behind us. We have a minimum salary that was accomplished because of the people standing behind me. We have a crisis in which tens of thousands of people being laid off because of AI, and many people think that we don't have an answer as to how we keep workers in America at work. They solved for that with the people behind me in a contract that allowed for them not to be replaced by AI. These are things that we should be here celebrating. We should be throwing a party for Kickstarter and their union because they got the work done together. But instead of celebrating Kickstarter for the great agreement that they came to because of the negotiations with the union standing behind me, we are going to throw eggs at Kickstarter. And this is what it is. Instead of celebrating this work, being a model for this country, being an organization and a company that people can go to and clap about, say good stories about, celebrate with, we're talking about union busting. We're talking about people that fought hard to get these once-in-a-lifetime generational accomplishments through their union being fired by Kickstarter. You see, I think Kickstarter forgot where they are right now. New York is a union town. Brooklyn is a union borough.
Union borough!
I love you guys. But we need to move forward with continuing to talk about celebration. The great Biggie Smalls says, spread love is the Brooklyn way.
All right.
And what we want to do is be able to get inside Borough Hall, put some music on, have some food, and celebrate with Kickstarter.
Let's go! Let's go!
There's still an opportunity here for this friendship to blossom and grow and be great and bloom. It's a beautiful weather outside. We want Kickstarter to get some vitamin D on them, the positive energy rain through their bodies, and to come back and do the right thing and celebrate the folks. Right now, Kickstarter is getting accolades for being the first tech company to put forth a union. They're being recognized for that, not because of their efforts, but because of the efforts of the people that they fired.
That's right!
So let's come to the table and make sure that we show that union power, union organizing is not something that should get you fired. If it's not, it's something that we should be celebrating. So I want to thank Kickstarter Union for the great work that they did. And we have to make sure that we get every single employee and union organizer their job back.
I say union, you say power.
Union! 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 Union power!
Union power! Union power!
Union power!
Baby, can't touch that.
All right. So I just want to end that I want to apologize because these type of efforts are things that come rarely. We very rarely get an opportunity to stand before you in which contracts come to a conclusion that we actually have one for a union. And when those things happen so rarely, we always want to celebrate. And it's an unfortunate thing that they would take a moment like this and destroy it and ruin it by attacking the same people that got this work done. So I apologize to you, but to Kickstarter, make this a celebration because we show love in Brooklyn, but we show other things too. And we're asking you to come to the table and make sure you reinstate these workers. Thank you so much.
New York is a union town.
another round of applause for Borough President Reynoso. All right, I'm excited to introduce our next speaker, Public Advocate Jumani Williams.
Peace and blessing, love and light, everybody. How you doing?
Let's go, Jumani!
I appreciate you. First of all, I saw the orange and blue sweaters from over there. I thought it was the Knicks. I'm glad it's NYCC, but I got real hype. You know, so. It's an honor to be here with all of you. I'm sorry that we have to be here, but I'm glad that so many people are standing up. I know that there are unions from other places that are coming in solidarity, and that is exciting. The truth is, this country tries to extol virtues as its rise to power and prominence, but really it is based in exploitation. It is based in exploitation of workers. It is based in exploitation of human beings and what they can do. As a matter of fact, this country has shown that if it can get workers for free, it would get workers for free. And so it is important that we lay the groundwork of what we're actually fighting against. And it's important to show that unions are the ones that have pushed back against that exploitation that is in the root of the power of this country. And we have always seen wealthy people doing all that they can to exploit the work and labor of other people so that they can get wealthy. So whenever we see unions organizing, I get excited, not just for that union, but for workers all over. Because when unions unite, when unions form, when unions win, workers all across the country and globe win. We now take for granted the 5-day work week. We take for granted weekends. We take for granted the fact that children are not able to work. Hopefully that remains the same, but this Republican Congress is crazy. But we take that for granted. That was unions that got us that. So I'm not surprised that it's union. Oh, we clap for that. We clap. It is unions.
Let's go, union! Union power! Union power!
But so I'm not surprised to hear that we may have another demarcation in the line when this union have now started getting a 4-day work week. We should not be afraid of these changes because we're used to the other ones. Sometimes it's a little bit to push further. What we saw Kickstarter do is what we see all the time. This union busting, I'll wait for this to pass if I can. It's the New York scenery. All right, we see this all over, and everybody acts like they're not union busting. They give a different reason of why they're union busting. They try to pretend that their excuse is different than the excuse before, but it is union busting. That's all that happened. And we should, as the borough president said, be celebrating the victory of this union so that other unions can see the power that they have. Instead, we have to be fighting to reinstate people who fought for that win in the first place. We're not going to go quietly in the night. We are going to stand with this union and make sure that the people who got the victory are reinstated for their job. Kickstarter, we are watching you. And we are making sure that you don't go into the night having fired people for moving workers' power forward. Because again, while I'm so excited for Kickstarter and the union that you have formed and the win that you have gotten, that win is for workers all over this country. And if there ever was a time that we needed more worker power, it is right now. So thank you, Kickstarter. Thank you for the leaders who stood up and withstood the attacks to fight for everyone. But no, you're not just fighting for yourself, everyone who comes after you. But we're going to stand with you until you get your jobs back. We're going to stand until other workers get what you want, because we know the workers united will never be defeated. The workers united will never be defeated. The workers united will never be defeated. Worker power. Thank you so
All right. Our next speaker is Councilmember Lincoln Ressler.
What's disgusting?
Union busting!
I said, what's disgusting?
Union busting!
I want to tell you something. I'm the council member here in downtown Brooklyn, but my district stretches up to Greenpoint. And when Kickstarter announced that they were opening up their HQ in Greenpoint, I was profoundly proud. I was so excited that this amazing tech company was coming into our community in Brooklyn. And when this union formed, and after fighting like hell, secured an awesome contract, a landmark union contract in the tech industry, I was incredibly proud of these workers. And what does Kickstarter turn around and do? They start firing folks, start reassigning folks who had the courage, who had the chutzpah to organize their fellow workers to demand the wages and the benefits that they deserve. It is freaking disgraceful what Kickstarter has done. They should be ashamed of themselves. I want to be clear, what these people, these men and women behind me have accomplished is inspiring. They fought for a contract that was actually just. And their shady employer turned around and screwed them. They believe that by firing folks, by reassigning folks, that they can scare these workers off. But we have a message to Kickstarter. Hell freaking no! There is power. There is power in a union. And what these people are doing is fighting together for their rights, fighting together for decent wages, fighting together for solid benefits. And this win, when we come back and we get Kickstarter to come to the table to reinstate these workers, to put these workers back in the jobs that they were in, when we win, we are going to send a message to every employer in the tech industry that they better do the damn right thing. Because when we fight, when we fight, I am proud to stand with you all. We are going to win this damn thing. Thank you so much.
All right, can we get another round of applause for our amazing electeds standing with us here today? I'll tell you, I was one of the leaders of the strike we had last year, and it was primarily a strike over Zoom. So I experienced it all from my living room, and I can tell you it's an incredibly isolating experience to not have my fellow workers around me, to not really sure if anyone would stand with us at all. So it's incredibly moving to be here with very important people who are on our side and are sending a message to our management. Absolutely. So I thank you, and we the members of Kickstarter United, thank you. Excited to announce our next speaker, the president of the Central Labor Council, Brendan Griffith.
Go, Brendan!
Thank you very much, Arlie. When we fight! When we fight! Thank you very much. My name is Brendan Griffith, and I'm the president of the New York City Central Labor Council, AFL-CIO. And I want to thank the Kickstart workers and Kickstart Workers United for standing together, for standing up, for standing strong. Woo! Brothers and sisters, siblings, elected officials, and to the elected officials, to the borough president, thank you so very much for bringing us together. To the public advocate, to council member Ressler, thank you for being here. To all the other unions that are showing support for Kickstarter Workers United, thank you. And to the Kickstarter Workers United, you did everything you were supposed to do. Everything you were supposed to do. You did everything right. You came together, you organized, you fought for a contract, and you got an industry-leading contract, and congratulations. And as our speakers have said before, we should be here celebrating. But instead, we're keeping up the fight. And we will not stop. Brothers and sisters, workers are paying attention. They are paying attention to the messages that are being sent from Kickstarter, from Everett Taylor. When you hire Littler Mendelsohn, you are sending a message. When you retaliate against workers, you are sending a message. When you union bust, you are sending a message. And let me tell you, we have a message that we are sending to you, Everett Taylor, and to the management at Kickstarter. New York City is a union town. Union! Brothers and sisters, not only is New York City a union town, but the best things in New York City and the best things to come from New York City are union made. So I am here, the president of the New York City Central Labor Council, representing over 300 unions in the 5 boroughs of New York City, over 1 million members, to say, Kickstart Workers United, we are with you today, tomorrow, as long as it takes till you get what you deserve. Those workers get their jobs back. This contract is enforced. We are standing with you. Thank you.
All right, our next speaker is Jasmine from WFP. Jasmine.
My name is Jasmine Gripper. I'm the state director of the New York Working Families Party. We understand the power of labor, because when workers' rights are under attack, what do? We are standing up and fighting back right now. The workers of Kickstarter who were laid off need to be reinstated. They have the power of labor behind them. They have the power of community groups, and they have the power of the working families of New York State, saying we are standing with the workers. Kickstarter CEO in Brooklyn, do right. Don't just come try to gentrify our city, but do the right thing. Stand up and show your support for the workers and reinstate them. Thank you. What's disgusting?
Union busting!
What's disgusting?
Union busting!
What's disgusting?
Union busting!
What's disgusting?
I think we need a marching band at all of our rallies. All right, for our next speakers, I'm very excited to introduce. They are members of other unions in tech who have stood by us side by side through our strike, through all of this strife. So I'm very excited to introduce Yang from Alphabet Workers Union.
Hello? Okay, I wrote something. Good morning, fellow workers.
Good morning!
My name is Yang. I am a software engineer at Google, and I'm speaking to you as both a member and representative of the Alphabet Workers Union. We're here in solidarity with tech workers at Kickstarter United in the face of unlawful retaliation. Now, this isn't the first time that we've shown up for at a rally for Kickstarter United. The Alphabet Workers Union showed up in 2025 for your contract strike, including right here in New York City. We all know the importance of a union contract, and we also know the importance of being secure in our jobs. No one should have to experience retaliation for their organizing. At Google, we have been fighting for our own job security. In the process, we've grown our strength, we've won voluntary buyouts from management, and we've even seen Microsoft down the road offer their own voluntary retirement program. And that is why we stand here today with our fellow workers. Kickstarter United is a welcome example of worker power in the tech sector. Each of you have walked down that grassy path and revealed a trail for what is possible. As the workers who run Kickstarter, you inspire all of us. Every one of you deserves to taste the fruits of your labor, especially the 4 of you who are unjustly retaliated. We in the Alphabet Workers Union stand in solidarity with all of you, shoulder to shoulder, hand in hand. And after all, who has the power?
Union power!
Oh, okay. Y'all haven't heard of this one before. Who has the power? We have the power. What kind of power? Union power. Thank you.
our last speaker for today, Jeff from the New York Times Tech Guild.
Hello, I'm Jeff Sisson, and I'm the unit chair, fellow tech worker, software engineer at the New York Times Tech Guild. And I got to start by saying that all of us in our union were watching your strike and cheering you on because Kickstarter United did the hard thing. You guys held out on strike for 42 days. Sit with that, seriously. And at the end of that, you got a 4-day work week encoded in your contract. Don't let your boss diminish the significance of what you guys have won. And now, of course, your boss is playing the oldest trick in the book, right? They are retaliating against and laying union members off. We can just call this for what it is, it's union busting. And what's disgusting? Union busting! All right, so our union has been here before too. We had our first contract about a year ago, and literally it was in November, December, and the layoffs were in April, May. It's like they only know how to do one thing. But after we had our layoffs, we had a contract, of course. And so I'm here to say that you guys have got this. You already have the tools. You have the organizing know-how to fight back. Your boss is violating your hard-won contract, and they're going to feel the pain. When we had layoffs of our union members after we won our contract, we fought back. Our company was not honoring what we had in our contract, which is a rehire list, which says that if you get laid off and they open up a job, it's got to go to a union member, which meant that those new jobs that they opened didn't go to union members. And so we said, this has got to stop. This is a contract violation. And we fought it. It took months, but again, I'm here to say that we won. One of our laid off union members got his job back. As a result of our organizing and the protections that we'd won in the grievance process as part of striking for a first contract. And so I don't think that Kickstarter management quite knows what they've stepped into here, right? They want to do business as usual, cosplay like you guys don't have a union, but they are messing with Kickstarter United, your union, the union that went on a 42-day strike. And you guys are going to keep doing the same stuff that you've been doing. Fighting for dignity at work and fighting for your coworkers. Because when you fight, when we fight, we win! When we fight, we win! All right, y'all. All right. We win! We win! We win! We
All right, everyone, that concludes our speakers for today. Another round of applause for amazing. It's been my honor to stand here and to listen to all these speeches and to be so inspired by the folks who are standing with us in solidarity, because we did not spend 42 long days without pay, risking our livelihoods to fight for a 4-day work week, to fight for a minimum wage, just to have management lay off our workers in retaliation.
That's right.
Yeah. So we continue to fight, and we call on the leaders of Kickstarter, Everett Taylor, Karen Tsai, Ellie Clinton, Matthew Famularo, Nick Yulman, and Asher McClanahan to cut it out. Reinstate our colleagues.
Right. Yes.
And drop Littler Mendelsohn.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone.
Woo!